AITA for showering around midnight when I know that it might bother the neighbor who wakes up at 5 a.m. We purchased a home and moved in recently. Housing opportunities are tight in our area, so even though we were warned that the walls are very thin and the neighbors hear a lot of noise from the apartment, especially from the bathroom, we still chose this property because everything else is picture perfect for us. We are generally a very quiet couple without kids or animals. Our hobbies, beadwork, video games on headphones without streaming, reading, Netflix, are generally quite, and we only invite friends over every 2 to 4 weeks, and we haven't invited anyone over as we were still decorating and everything. We are the owners of the apartment. The neighbors are a couple and a small kid. They rent the apartment next to us, and before we purchased the home, they warned us that they generally hear a lot of noise coming from our bathroom and that it's their bedroom on the other side. But as I mentioned, our options were limited, and given that we are not noisy at all, we thought we can take this situation. We sometimes hear their toddler, but that completely okay. It doesn't bother us at all. The problem is that we bother them as our routine is very different. They wake up at 5 a.m. and generally quiet down at 8 p.m. when the kid goes to sleep. On the other hand, because I work from home until 7 p.m., I generally start my evening around 8 p.m. and only end up showering around midnight, which bothers them. The whole building is quiet, so they tend to hear how I put my stuff down, how the water runs, how I sometimes drop a few things, and mentioned it very nicely a few times, but I can see that they are pretty annoyed. Now I'm torn between switching up my whole nighttime routine to shower first, which just doesn't sit right with me. I like to go bed freshly showered, because they ask nicely and they wake up around 5 a.m., so it must be annoying to get woken up at midnight. On the other hand, they only rent while we own the home, and I think we are generally very good and quite neighbors apart from the fact that I shower late. They invited us over to listen to the volume, as to be honest, it's not that loud. Sure, you can hear something and it must feel louder in the silence of the night, but it's not incredibly loud. AITA for showering at night?